Posers. We're here at Grace United Methodist Church, and we're very happy that you have joined us this evening. We'll start the program with Cheryl Lemke, who is the organist here at Grace, and she's going to be playing music by Adolphus Hailstork. First, Deep River. Second, There is a Balm in Gilead. And then, Every Time I Feel the Spirit. The music of Adolphus Hailstork is frequently performed throughout the United States. As a matter of fact, one of the pieces that he wrote is a piece on that has the trio, and it is reminiscent of "Wake, Awake, for Night is Flying," but the text is we shall overcome. And I'll try not to slip up again. Hailstork studied at the Manhattan School of Music and then also at the American Institute in Fontainebleau with Nadia Boulanger. He studied and got his doctoral degree in composition from Michigan State University, and his compositions include works for chorus, some of them with orchestra, solo voice, piano, organ, chamber music, posers, and symphony and opera. Grace United Methodist Church, and we're very happy that you have joined us this evening. Currently, Hailstork is professor of music and composer in residence at the Old Dominion University in Norfolk, Virginia. His choral music often combines the traditions of various genres of African American folk music and European music. He excels at evoking the mood and the meaning of the text through his rich harmonic language. Let's listen as Cheryl plays these wonderful tunes for us. And now Cheryl will continue with the music of Adolphus Hailstork with Every Time I Feel the Spirit. Thank you so much, Cheryl, for sharing with us tonight. Thanks so much, Cheryl. Those spirituals just really do a great deal for your insides. My name is Greg Gilsdorf. I'm the Director of Music and organist at Trinity Episcopal Church in Aurora, Illinois. I serve the Rockford chapter as the chair of the Education Committee and the National AGO on the Committee on Professional Certification, that committee that writes those nasty exams that people like to take. Undine Smith Moore wrote these variations on Nettleton, and Nettleton is the tune name of the hymn that we often associate with Come Thou Font of Every Blessing. She was sometimes referred to as the Dean of Black Women Composers, and she was a professor of music in the 20th century. While she was originally trained as a concert pianist, She also wrote for the organ, piano, voice, flute, and chamber ensembles. Her preferred medium, however, was mostly vocal music, and her music was inspired by Black spirituals and folk music. People who are choral directors will oftentimes know her anthems. Undine Smith Moore was renowned as a teacher and once stated that she experienced teaching itself as an art. How true that is. Toward the end of her life, she received many awards for her accomplishments as a music educator. These variations on Nettleton are one of two pieces that she wrote for the organ. Unfortunately, the other piece has gotten lost, but this one has remained. It was originally commissioned in 1976 for the graduation recital of a student at Virginia State University. So here is the variations on Nettleton of Undine Smith Moore. Samuel Coleridge Taylor. This melody from 3 short pieces for organ, it's only 3 pages long, but oh my, what he packs into those 3 pages. Samuel Coleridge Taylor was of mixed race origin. His father and his ancestors came from America around Virginia or so, about the time of the American Revolution, and the British set his ancestor free, and they went back to England. His father stayed there in England and taught Samuel the violin. It wasn't long before Samuel heard that the violin made him happy and he was having a great time making music. Professionals heard him play and said, "You need to go to the Royal Conservatory of Music and get an audition." The people at the Royal Conservatory were happy to have him come there. And while he was there, he studied with Charles Villiers Stanford. Edward Elgar heard his music, and he said, "You must come and join and be a part of the Three Choir Festival." His teachers were amazed by his talent. He came to the United States, and while at the United States, he heard the poem by Henry Wadsworth Longfellow, the poem of Hiawatha. Very taken by this poem, he wrote a cantata. It was a huge success in America. Went back to Great Britain, and not many years later wrote 2 more cantatas on the rest of the poem of Longfellow. They too were huge successes in America. Let's listen to this melody of Samuel Coleridge Taylor. You'll definitely hear some Edwardian flavor in it, and most definitely some flavors of both Stanford and Elgar. It ends quietly with a lovely 4-foot flute in the grate and lovely soft strings in the swell. This is Andrew Mertzens who's going to be playing. Andrew is the organist at Court Street Methodist Church, and the elegy that he's playing is also by Samuel Coleridge Taylor, so you get to hear another piece by the same wonderful composer. Here's Andrew with Elegy. The next piece is Procession of the Gargoyles from Suite Sébastien, and it's being played by Valerie Blair. Valerie Blair is the organist at Second First Church here in Rockford. The piece of music is by Thomas Kerr, and it's extracted from his Suite Sébastien, which is an 8-movement work that he wrote for the dedication of the organ at his church, which is Plymouth Congregational in Washington, D.C. I think it's best when you listen to his Procession of the Gargoyles if you have the picture of gargoyles in your mind, because they're sort of fantastic in their picture, and facial expressions are sort of grimaced and outlandish, and they can be all kinds and shapes of various creatures. And here are these creatures in a great big procession in 5/4 time, because gargoyles could not walk in 4/4 or 3/4. That would be much too amusing. So they march along in 5/4 time. And as the piece progresses, they get more and more animated, and they dance fast. And finally, they go into a frenzy, at the end of the piece, and it all comes together in a great crash at the end with full organ. It's a wonderful piece and a good jolly romp on the organ. Enjoy it well. Much for joining us this evening. It's been our pleasure to share these talented individuals with you. Thanks to Cheryl Lemke, thanks to Andrew Mertzenich, and thanks to Valerie Blair. It was great hearing you play this evening. Please join us at our next performance, March 8th, when we'll be playing music by women composers. Here at this very same Grace United Methodist Church, it will be a great joy for us to be playing here again. And we do hope that you have a pleasant evening and stay safe and stay well. Thank you. Good night.